Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Dearborn County 4-H and Community Fair for 2024. We're getting things ready here, running a little bit late here this evening, but very, very soon we'll have everything going for us here. So please bear with us for a few minutes, and we'll get started. Thank you.
Try that one.
Do you have a mic for the judge?
Yeah, it's two of them.
Yeah, that says Jerry.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a round pepper, but I don't know.
Yeah. And then two extra mics here. Okay, good.
Are they ready back there?
I'm not quite sure. Here's our sound bag. I'll use one for this too.
Hey, Keith, if you could tell us when they are ready back there, please. We'll get ready to go. Hey folks, while we're waiting to get going here, just a reminder, if in essence you are supreme large and small animal showmanship, winners of immediate and senior showmanship classes need to sign up in the 4-H office for supreme showmanship the day of your show, which means this evening, so that you can confirm participation. Same with the Cloverbud Livestock Showmanship Workshop. Winners of intermediate and senior showmanship classes need to sign up in the 4-H office this evening, the day of your show, if you can lead your species showmanship. So for the small, we have Thursday at 9 a.m., the large Friday at 10 a.m., and also for the Cloverbuds, Friday at 9 a.m. as well. Thank you. Hey, again, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the beef show here this evening. I'd first like to introduce to you our judge for this evening here, Kylie Patterson. Kylie, although a native of San Antonio, Texas, she grew up showing cattle competitively. She was an integral part of both highly successful livestock judging teams at Blinn College and at Oklahoma State University, and highlighted her judging career by being the first woman in the history of the century-old event to win high individual at the national contest in Louisville, Kentucky in both junior and senior college. OSU, also the record-breaking national champion team in 2019. Previously, she was an assistant coach of the 2021 and 2022 Texas A&M team that won 3 of the 4 national contests. Kylie has judged cattle shows in 38 states as well as internationally in Mexico, Ecuador, and Thailand. Currently, she resides in Greensburg, Indiana with her fiance, Eric Ray. She works as a sales analyst for Danone North America and is a business partner on an innovative online video judging practice platform called LivestockJudging.com. Please welcome Kylie Patterson to Dearborn County. Those of you who were with us last evening for the swine show, Kylie also did the swine show for us last evening. Did a fantastic job. So we're just really welcome to have her back again.
Well, it's a pleasure to be back, and we kickstart the Angus Heifer show here with this single entry, but one that I think is going to make an awfully nice cow prospect. She's good footed, she's good on her feet, legs. She's got just the right kind of body shape and fleshing ability. So while she may not, wow us in the show ring, I certainly think her worth's going to be in the future out just doing her job as a cow. So congratulations to her. Let's give her a big hand.
Elizabeth Bear, congratulations. Next up, we have Class 2, the summer yearling. That was born between May 1 and August 31 of 2023. And our exhibitor this evening is Austin Gellert.
I'm going to try this one for this. I think we're going to make it.
Young man brings us another single entry, but one that I think is just so good in terms of her type and kind. A sensibly sized female that's tremendous in terms of her rib shape and body depth. She gives you a nice look from the profile because her rib cage just is made so correctly. If we're going to get just a bit pickier on her, she's probably just a bit harder in terms of her ankle, just a bit more vertical in terms of her shoulder and knee, but nevertheless, a very, very nice one that I think certainly has a tremendous amount of replacement value. So congratulations to him. Let's give him a hand.
Placing first in Class 2, Austin Geller with his Angus. Next up, we have Class 3. That is the senior calf born between September 1 and December 31 of 2023. Here we have three exhibitors: Riker Gellert with his Angus, Rosalie Bear, another Angus, and Rosalie Bear, another Angus. All of these are homegrown.
Certainly wouldn't argue with you if you like the top end of this class switched. I think at the end of the day, I probably like just the moderation and the extra shot of rib shape that you get in the easier fleshing female that's going to go ahead and start. Structurally speaking, we'd certainly like to tweak some things. I think the heifer that's just a bit curled in terms of her toe shape, once wants to pull her hawk in from behind and maybe isn't as flexible as I'd ideally like. But then again, I think her advantages just in sheer power and doability just surpass the female in second. Really like the shape of the hoof that's going to come in the female that's second. Really sound, really long striding, really athletic. But in the same note, you start projecting her out from a mature cow size. She's just a bit bigger, just a bit longer bodied, and with that shallower. And so I worry about the extra shot of supplemental maintenance she might need down the line. But I appreciate her freshness, and I certainly appreciate just her sound set of feet and legs that she comes with. Again, no slouch in third. I think from a real-world perspective, she's got just a tremendous amount of value in the pasture. We throw her in a show ring setting, though, and she probably just becomes the plainest of the group, who's the most off in terms of her hip and hind leg, and just doesn't balance quite the same. But a great group of females, even better group of showmen. Let's go ahead and give them a big hand.
Okay, so in the Class 3, the senior calves, placing first is Riker Geller. Coming in second, Rosalie Bear, and coming in third, Rosalie Bear. Congratulations. Next up, we've got the champion Angus Heifer. We will need out here Elizabeth Bear, Austin Gellert, and Riker Gellert.
About what?
We get in for selection of our champion Angus and two different type and kinds out here. I think the young lady's older female, just cut from a different cloth in terms of being bigger, longer, growthier, and more extended. Maybe in relation to her extra frame size, though, not as much rib shape and genuineness from a doability and body perspective. Then we have the two other heifers who look like they're bred extremely similar, just at least from a type and kind perspective. Moderate, easy doing, sensibly sized cattle that have the kind of rib shape and doability it takes to last and make money in production. And so, depending on the speed of cattle you typically like, it can see going either way, but in my mind, I think there's a pair of them that get awfully close. I'm going to take one last look at them and show you my two favorites. But before I do so, let's give these kiddos a big hand.
This evening's grand champion in this class, Austin Geller. Austin will receive a supply tote from Powell Equipment. Next up, we have reserve champion Angus effort. And that will be Rosalie Bear. I'm sorry, that will be Riker Gellert. This event is sponsored by the Lutz family, Steer Right Farm, and they will receive a feed scoop. Okay, so we jumped into Class 4 here, the junior yearling born between January 1 and April 30th, 2023. Our exhibitor here is Kaylee Mingus with her maintainer.
Very highly presented single entry here in our maintainer show, and I think her presence, especially when she's stopped, is undeniable. She's really neat in the way she shoots her head and neck so far and high out of the top side of her blade. What I love about her, though, is as smooth as her shoulder sits onto her body cavity, she still works back into a really explosive four-rib and center body. Heifer's chock full of some natural muscularity and power. Love her quality stand-in. Where I want to change her, though, young lady, is when we get her in motion. I think that's where she kind of falls apart ever so slightly. She's a bit off in terms of her hoof shape, a bit curled and long in her toe, and as a result, she gets out, wants to duck her pin set, get a bit stiffer in motion. But I think past that, just a tremendous amount of quality on the stand. I'm excited to see her later on in the day. So let's give her a big round of applause.
Okay, placing first is Kaylee Mingus with her maintainer. Next up, we have Class 5. That's the junior yearling born between January 1 and April 30 of 2023. And our exhibitor is Jack Rosenberger.
Young man brings us a single entry in our Charolais show that I think is just a brood cow in the making. Big backed, big ended, got the power you'd expect for a Charolais, but yet her muscle pattern still lays on her in a very maternal fashion. Just a nice cow. I think her better days ahead are in the pasture and in production. You know, we throw her in a show ring setting, and maybe she's just a bit plainer up through her front end. Maybe we could see her be just a bit deeper heeled and more flexible in her pastern. I think in the grand scheme of things, her better days are ahead of her. I'd be awfully proud to own her if I was the young man. So congratulations to him. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Placing first in Class 5, Jack Rosenberger. Next up, we have Class 6. That is the junior yearling born between January 1 and April 30 of 2023. Our exhibitor is Elsie Rudolph with her sim solution. Holly. Just a reminder for anybody, if you want to sign up for the showmanship, the sign-ups are up here on the announcer's table down on the end. Just find your class and put your name on the list.
competition. I think on the side, she's just so smooth and proportioned so well. I love the way her shoulder blends into her body cavity, very maternal in terms of her muscle, yet she's still big pinned and wide-based and opened up. You know, if I'm going to get just a bit pickier on her, I think we set her in motion, maybe just a nickel tighter in her hip, maybe wants to pressure to the outside of her hoof wall. But I appreciate her for looking like a lady for one, and then still packing the right kind of pin width and power that it takes to be a generator. So my hat's off to you. Congratulations. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Elsie Rudolph placing first in Class 6. Next up, we have the beef commercial and market heifers here. Our first class is Class 7, the market heifers. That's 9:15 to 9:25. Two exhibitors, Ellie Shooter and Paisley Sefton, both with crossbreeds.
We get into our first class of lightweight market females, and I'm going to go ahead and leave them how they came in. Again, I just think proportionality and balance favors the more heads-up black female. I think we start talking about one that's just a bit bolder at the base of her heart, more opened up directly behind her blade, and as a result, I think she packs more power up high and from behind. You know, where you get just a bit pickier on her is I think when you see her go, I don't know if she ever really drives her heel deep enough into the dirt or is as flexible in terms of her lower joints is what I deem ideal. But I certainly think just on the stand, proportionality and doability seems to favor her a bit more. I do like pieces about your heifer though, young lady. I think the Silver Baldy is certainly stouter footed. I think she's better in terms of the way she drives her hawk. Just a notch more flexible as well. And she's another one that's got some muscularity and natural thickness to her. Unfortunately, I think the open-shouldered female is a bit lower time, just doesn't blow up near big enough in terms of her heart or directly behind her shoulder. I think you watch her leave and she wants to pull her hawk in from behind. But two very nice cattle. Let's give these young ladies a big hand.
Placing first in Class 7, Ellie Shooter. In second place, Paisley Sefton. Congratulations. Class 8, market heifers. That's 1,040 to 1,170. We have three exhibitors. First up, Emily Clem. Then we have Carissa Shooter and Elsie Rudolph.
Young lady brings us a nice baldy that if we just judged him standing here, I'd be a bigger fan than when we threw her in motion, because I think on the stand, man, that is a really, really massive, ultra robust center skeleton that I think set the stage for just a tremendous amount of natural power up high and from behind. And yet she balances extremely well and is fresh and very well managed up motion. She's just too vertical in terms of her shoulder and knee. It limits her step and reach out of her front end. Just a bit harder in terms of her ankle and more closed up and short in her toe. Maybe doesn't have the athleticism, but I think the overwhelming amount of quality and power just favors her too much to even think about switching her with something else. Then we get into a pair of cattle that couldn't be more different in terms of their type and kind. You know, at the end of the day, I appreciated the extra shot of back shape and pin width and dimension that comes with the bigger boned black female. I'll be the first to tell you, I think her hind leg's a little sus for me. I'd certainly like to build more bend into her hock and clean her up in terms of her joint work and see her just a bit softer body, just more practical in terms of both her skeleton and center body dimension. But at the end of the day, I thought there was too much value there from a muscularity standpoint if we're calling this market heifers. And that's where it gets close, right? Because I think of the entire group, functionality certainly favors the Hereford Marks female. It's not a doubt in my mind that if we throw them out and make them be cows, she's going to do the best job because her length of stride and coordination is second to none. Just too plain in her look and her muscle pattern to really compete with the other cattle. So that's where it gets tricky. But young lady, I do appreciate the sound set of feet legs your heifer does have. So let's give these young ladies a big hand. You're doing an awesome job.
Okay, so Class 8 placing first, Elsie Rudolph. In second place, Carissa Shooter. And rounding out the field, Emily Clem. Next up, we have our champion commercial heifer. Okay, so calling into the ring, we need Ellie Shooter and Elsie Rudolph.
Okay. Sounds good.
We get into our champion market heifer, commercial heifer. I think you guys combine them here. And I think we have two really nice individuals. They both rose to the forefront of their class pretty quickly. I think both represent good kind of opened up muscular cattle. But I think at the end of the day, there's one whose presence is just undeniable. The one out of the second class is my favorite, and she'll be our champion here today. So we'll drop in that second place.
Okay, so our champion commercial heifer, Elsie Rudolph. Congratulations. Next up, we have the grand champion heifer, Elsie Rudolph.
We get into selection of our reserve female, and one of like a lot of pieces about the female that comes out of the heavier class. Again, I think balance and proportionality just favors the one up front. My second favorite is the lightweight. So congratulations, young lady.
So the reserve champion commercial heifer, L.A. Shooter, congratulations. Okay, into the ring for the grand champion heifer, Austin Gellert, Riker Gellert, Kaylee Mingus, Jack Rosenberger, Elsie Rudolph. And Elsie Rudolph. Say again?
Riker Dillard got reserved. He has no.
Oh, Riker doesn't come in.
Okay.
I tell you what, I've been thoroughly impressed with the heifer show that we've had here today. Maybe not as big in terms of numbers, but I certainly think your lineup out here represents a tremendous amount of quality. I'll be straightforward. I know we have some show left. It comes down to a pair of them to me. It comes down to maybe one's a bit looser spined, a bit more appropriate in the shape to her feet. The other's chock full of some really neat pieces when we start talking about rib shape and look up front. So that's the debate that goes through my mind. I'm going to take one last look at them and I'll show you my two favorites. No disrespect to the kiddos in the back, the reserves, but our champions are sitting here and reserve is sitting in this lineup. So before I do so, let's give these kiddos a big hand. They've done an awesome job on them.
Okay, for the grand champion heifer, congratulations to Elsie Rudolph. And the reserve grand champion heifer, Kaylee Mingus. Congratulations.
We got a problem with that. You got to select one. This one was the first leg. He's a homegrown. This one, no, this one is homegrown. This one's a homegrown. And he was first. All these guys are homegrown.
Just want to bring them out one class then.
Yeah.
I might have to go tell the guys in the back. Are you able to go tell them?
Yeah. Just say, let's go with these, so it's from here on down.
Okay, so we're going to review some of our awards and sponsors here. The champion homegrown heifer, GEI Fluid Power, a metal sign. The champion Angus heifer, PAL Equipment Services with a supply tote. Reserve champion Angus heifer, Dale and Rachel Lutzen family at Steer Right Farm with a feed scoop. The champion crossbred heifer, Doug and Lou Reed Ketchum and family, a supply tote. The reserve champion crossbred heifer, the Blair family, that's Amanda, Britton, Jack, and Colt, and that is a feed scoop. The champion Sim Solution heifer, Farm Credit Mid-America with a supply tote. The reserve champion Sim Solution heifer, Happy Hooves 4-H Livestock Club, a feed scoop. And the champion Charolais heifer, Leo Gabbard Feed Incorporated and Excavating, and a supply tote there. Lastly, the champion maintainer heifer, Will's Grill, Judy and Bill Yelton, a supply tote. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Hey, just a reminder, if you're signing up for showmanship, we've got a few minutes left to do that. Make your way down to the announcer's table.
The grand champion was homegrown, so that's already.
The grand champion was homegrown. You got reserved. I don't know what it is. So, Stevie, no, we don't have reserved homegrown. Okay, well then
We're good.
we're good. Okay, good. So who's got the
No loss to the Riker.
Test one.
No, wait a minute. You got Elsa. She's homegrown. Yes.
Test 1, 2,
So,
1, 2, 3, 4.
the official
Test
list
1, 2,
is in here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, in this
Oh, in the folder.
folder is the correct.
Test 1, 2.
It's underneath, yes.
Test 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Test.
No, we made it on this. This is the official list. So this one here. So this is the one that won. It's homegrown. This list is not right. He has the official list.
Test 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Test.
Yeah, I need. Yeah. So they just.
Yeah, I think everything's
I mediate. You're doing a great job. That's homegrown.
Okay, so our champion homegrown
into ninth
heifer,
grade.
Elsie
But it's her
Rudolph.
first
Congratulations, Elsie.
So we're going to come back to.
Next sale bill.
No.
Do what?
Not extra.
I know. I bet she won't.
Be nice to know what's coming in the ring.
Beef steers, 1,060 to 1185.
I don't know how many or not. I'm gonna
He's helping us, so he can read ours.
Brad. First year in eighth grade.
Okay, are we
Oh, I'm
ready?
going to slap him.
Are we ready to move on?
No, we're going to say we're going to come back at 7:55.
Okay, so the Beef Steer Show, a little delay here. We'll be back and ready to go at 7:55.
Okay, you should have been taking for us.
And again, if you're signing up for showmanship, please make your way up to do that. Thank you.
Is it less?
Yes.
It is less than the heifer show? How about it?
He's helping.
Which one do what?
And this is easy to
This is
read.
just here.
And
Smart man. Smart man. You did that at Jay. Well, I want me to hear it. I said, I don't want to hear how to
4 minutes until the beef steer show. We'll be getting around to the beef steer show in just a couple of minutes, so hang tight.
The gray shirt.
Oh, okay.
No. She's the one who gave. She doesn't.
Back here.
All right. Nope. Not on.
Turn the lights on. Buttons on the mic.
Says on.
Go ahead, talk.
Hello? Can everybody? There we go. Good evening, everybody. My name is Allison Gailey. I'm a 10-year 4-H'er. Welcome to the Beef Show. I'm just here to talk to you guys for a couple minutes, so I have a couple questions for you. Who here has ever participated in 4-H? Raise your hand. Yeah, look around. All right, put your hands down. Who here has been impacted by 4-H? Everybody's hand should be up. You're at a 4-H show, yeah. Okay, now put your hand down. Now put your hand up if you volunteered for 4-H. All right, let's clap. Let's clap. I'm here tonight to introduce you all to 4-H and inviting you all to participate in volunteering for 4-H. As a 10-year 4-H'er, 4-H has absolutely impacted my experience in life and growing up. Right now, I'm a student at Purdue. I'm going to be in my senior year. I'm doing animal science with the goals of eventually becoming a veterinarian, and without the volunteers who help for 4-H, I wouldn't be who I am today. And so we invite you all who have been impacted by 4-H, or if you've done 4-H, come back and join us, volunteer. This afternoon, right before the beef show, my whole family helped volunteer with the dairy show. So it doesn't take a lot. You can volunteer. There's so many different opportunities. So we invite you all, come up and talk to Miss Karen if you're interested in volunteering. Thank you.
Okay, folks, here we go. Class 9 beef steer. 1,060 to 1185. Our exhibitors are Anna Rosenberger, Danica Neff, Kylie Neff, and Emily Clem. Anna's cross is homegrown. Emily's cross is homegrown.
11 weight cattle, and I certainly think there's different types and kinds, and it really just depends on where you want to draw your line of acceptability. But no matter what, I think the calf that's going to go ahead and win does so in a very dominant fashion. For a steer that weighs probably 1060, I think is what she said, I think he's right on track from a finish perspective to reach an appropriate market weight. That calf's got a good combination of some feedability because he's so good in terms of his center body and his structure, combines it with some back shape and some dimension from behind as well. Just a really nice tandem kind of calf to go ahead and win. But the closest call here was what to do between 2 and 3. Got cattle on opposite ends of the spectrum. I think the young lady's calf that's going to go ahead and be second comes with some neater pieces in terms of being really long and sleek and neat up in his neck. He's big boned, he's very expressive at the top side of his skeleton, more powerful, but in the same breath, you get your hands on him and he's pretty raw and hard to the touch. We get him in motion. He's too straight in terms of his knee, too crabbed up in terms of his hoof shape, doesn't get out and grab the surface with near the reach and the flexibility that I'd like. And so that's where I found some merit in the young lady's Hereford Mark steer. He is very sound structured. In the same breath, though, while I love how smooth finished he is and how easy he handles, he is just a bit plainer in terms of the tone to his muscle shape. And then you start analyzing him from just a mature size perspective. And I don't know if we have quite the grow and quite the get up and the end weight that we're really after to hang an acceptable carcass. But I appreciate it. And I think of all the cattle, he's got the cover on him to go ahead and roll choice, just doesn't have the right kind of muscle to necessarily stamp a low enough number. We get in and we round out the class with one that I think is great from a weight perspective. There's not a doubt in my mind when he finally finishes out and gets fatty, he's going to have a heavy weight there. In the same breath, just too plain in terms of his look and muscle pattern to really move up. But a great group of kiddos. Let's go ahead and give him a hand.
Okay, so Class 9 placing first, Danica Neff. Placing second, Kylie Neff. In third place, Emily Clem. And rounding out the field, Anna Rosenberger. Congratulations. The award there was sponsored by Bears Girls, and it's a beverage holder that's being a koozie. Very good. Next up, we have Class 10, the beef steer, 1,200 to 1,225 pounds. First in the arena, we will have Marissa Gabbard with her cross at 1,200 pounds in his weight. Kaylee Mingus at 1,200 pounds. Addison Tao at 1,200 pounds. And lastly here, Marissa Gabbard at 1,225 pounds. Addison Tao's cow is ungrown.
Okay. The place is closed, but there's 7 of them missing. I don't know if anybody's got cover sheets or not, but yeah, all we need to do is raise this up and put the cover sheet in.
Young lady with the black cap directly in front of me, quite frankly, just walks away with it in this particular group. Again, we've talked a lot about presence, but from the moment this guy stepped in the ring, I knew he was going to be the direction we'd build the class around. Not only is he so good in terms of his look up front, but he's plenty acceptable enough from a soundness perspective. I like that he's got the right kind of rib cage laid in him that not only has allowed him to balance well from the side, but truly feed out and make a good kind of a market steer. Calf's got some back, calf's tremendously thick-ended, just a really nice place to go ahead and land. We look at this white face steer, and although I think it's obvious we need to make him more athletic out of his hop, I think we start talking about balance and then lesser of some structural evils that we see down here at the round out the class. I think he just becomes the most logical option. Strong topped, up-headed kind of a steer that looks the part. We set him in motion. He's just a bit too vertical. But I do like that project, young lady. You've done an awesome job feeding him out and getting him to this end point. Calf that I struggle with is the young man's red steer because I'm sure as a baby, that's one that got excited. And he's stout in terms of his jaw. He is so massive and so opened up from every angle you study him. Big armed, big chested, monstrous top laid into him, and as dimensional through his stifle and lower quarter as you can ask. Unfortunately, I think not only are we pushing the envelope from a mature size and weight perspective, but he's also just riding the line structurally for me as well. Way too bowed in terms of his hog, too opened up front, too curled short in terms of his hoof shape. We round out the group with a calf that no doubt is going to probably hit the hook if we finish him out a little bit longer at a heavier end weight. While I appreciate that, I think he's got some body, he's got some length, he's got some size to him. He too is way too vertical up through his knee, and at the end of the day, we just didn't have enough power to play with the cattle ahead of you, but you were doing an awesome job out here, and I'm awfully proud of you. So congratulations. Let's go ahead and give these kiddos a big hand.
Very good. So your Class 10 lineup tonight. In first place, Kaylee Mingus. In second place, Marissa Gabbard. And in third place, Marissa Gabbard. And rounding out the field this evening, Addison Powell. Congratulations. In Class 11, a beef steer, 1265 to 1330. We have Paisley Sefton at 1,265 pounds, and Jack Rosenberger at 1,330 pounds. And Jack Rosenberger is homegrown.
I tell you what, I think this young lady up here is a heck of a hand and a very good showman. Calf clearly weighs quite a bit more than her, and she's sticking with it. And today she has my favorite one in this class. And I think truly it boils down to a question of power. I think you get off to a three-quarter view of these animals, and this calf's just got so much more to them from a back shape and hip and stifle perspective. I think both of them probably in relation to their frame are just a little racier in terms of their body cavity. Both of them a bit plainer in terms of their look. I just appreciated the pieces of power in the black steer. I do really like the foot and bone size, though, that comes with your calf, young man. And I do think he's naturally probably a bit leveler down his top and through his hip. Unfortunately, get off to a three-quarter view, and the narrow-chested animal's just too flat in terms of his body shape. It reads like that up high, just not near enough shape and dimension anywhere. And that kind of became his demise, but very good from a softness of body perspective. I appreciate that about him. So an excellent group of cattle. We'll go ahead and maybe give them a quiet round of applause as they exit the arena.
Placing first this evening in Class 11, Paisley Sefton. In second place, Jack Rosenberger. Next up, we have Class 12, which is the beef steer, 1,415 pounds to 1,495. Our exhibitors are Marissa Gabbard at 1,415 and Jeremy Davis at 1,495.
class, and I can understand if there's some guys in the back being like, what the heck, and maybe not understanding it, and I'll explain it to you here. In my mind, I think when we're reaching close to 15 like these cattle are, you got to be finished at this stage of the game. You got to handle smooth, and I think somewhere along the line in this club cap world, we got to decide what's acceptable from a structure aspect. And to me, that's where the more practical black steer just truly shines. Is he as aggressive in terms of his muscle? No. Is he as neat in terms of his look? Absolutely not. But when you start breaking him down just from a fundamental standpoint, that calf's got more than enough power. Calf handles smooth and consistent over his 12th and 13th. And more importantly, in my eyes, he's actually got some bend into his knee, and he's square, and he's more durable in terms of his hock and rear leg travel. Just thought practicality favored him. Now, young lady, I feel for you, because I think you had one that as a baby probably looked wild, and you got really excited about him. And it's unfortunate our rear wheels just didn't hold up, because I love his look, I love his muscularity. Calf's so big-ended. Calf's got a lot of promise, and I can imagine when he was little how big of a fan I would have probably been of him. Unfortunately, at this stage of the game, he's extremely raw in terms of his handle. Just a bit too straight in his knee, and like I said, his rear leg really kind of became his demise in this particular lineup. So let's give him a big hand, a close call, but that's just the way I read the pattern.
So, placing first in Class 12, Jeremy Davis. Coming in second, Marissa Gabber. Congratulations. The beef steer class winner, the trophy people, Bears Girls, a beverage holder, that being a koozie. The beef steer class winner, the Blair family, Amanda, Britton, Jack, and Colt, and that's a beverage holder with a koozie. The beef steer class winner, Double R Farm, that's a beverage holder and a koozie. And the beef steer class winner, that's sponsored by the Evans Family Farm, and that is a koozie as well. Now coming up, we have the Grand Champion Steer. Danica Neff from Class 9 at 1,105 pounds finished weight. Kaylee Mingus from Class 10 at 1,200 pounds. Paisley Sefton at 1,265 pounds. And Jeremy Davis at 1,495 pounds.
We get out here for selection of our champion market steer, and again, not the biggest in terms of numbers, but I'm awfully pleased with the lineup of market animals we have out here. Again, I think they represent the right kind. Structurally speaking, I think they have some practicality and some power to them, and overall just some real-world merit. Then we can make them look like show steers. That's when it gets awfully fun. You know, in the grand scheme of things, I've been extremely pleased with my time here the past 2 days. I think you guys in Dearborn County have done just a fantastic job of raising some tough kiddos that have the tenacity and the grit and the determination not only to make an impact here in the show ring and truly stand out, but those are life lessons that are certainly going to carry on with them. And so I'm awfully proud of you guys as kids and just the way that they represent themselves. And so I'd hope that all the parents and support system behind it just lets them know, just when they get out of the ring, good, bad, or indifferent, win, loss, they're certainly on the right path of life to truly succeed. So I'm going to go put the microphone down and show you the two that I like best. But before I do so, let's give these exhibitors a big hand.
Okay, let's be bringing in the second place steers.
Here we go. Just that one. This one. That one. Yep. Yep.
Marissa Gabbard. Our reserve grand champion steer, Danica Neff. Congratulations. Jeremy Davis, you may stay in the ring. Okay, his weight of gain. He gained a whopping 615 pounds for a finish weight of 1495. Okay, that's 5.13 pounds per day. He wins the rate of gain. Jeremy Davis.
All right, so we are going to take a 10-minute break for showmanship.
Okay, that completes the Beef Steer Show. We're going to take a 10-minute break now and get ready for showmanship. While we're waiting our 10 minutes here, we're going to check.
Homegrown. They're going to go get them. Homegrown. Do you know who lives there? It's Bo Rosenberger. Okay, we're going to rattle these.
So to thank some of our sponsors here, the Grand Champion Steer, the McClure family, Tanya, Kate, and Danny. Grand Champion Steer, Ross and Annie Cutter and family, a vinyl sign. Reserve Grand Champion Steer in memory of Phil Weaver. Supply tote and a Tractor Supply Dog gift card. Reserve Grand Champion Steer, Bear Springs Cattle and Clydesdales, a vinyl sign. Champion Homegrown Steer, GEI Fluid Power, a metal sign. Our champion rate of gain steer, Fort Wright Farm, and that is a big bucket. And the champion rate of gain steer, the Double R Farm, and that will be a vinyl sign. Next up, we're bringing in the champion homegrown. So our exhibitors in the homegrown are the Rosenberger family, that being Jack Rosenberger and Anna Rosenberger. Congratulations to the Rosenberger family.
The judge is going to say which one's better.
And Emily Quinn for the champion homegrown.
What grade is intermediate?
Okay, so 9th, 10th, 11th, so intermediate's 8.
8 and down? She'll be a sophomore. She's a freshman. That's what she was worried about.
They were treating fine.
Okay, we're going to continue on here with our homegrown champion, Anna Rosenberger, Emily Clem, Addison Powell, and Jack Rosenberger.
Tell her she only picked
Kylie.
You pick one.
We get out here for your champion homegrown steer, and my hat's off to the families behind this deal and all of these kiddos for making it to this point. It takes a lot of effort to go through mating the cow and following through the entire process to get to where you're finally showing your progeny here at the county fair. So that's something to be awfully proud of. Excuse me, might die, but I only got to pick one out here. But I certainly think each one of them is very high quality and has made a good project for the young people. My favorite, I think, just uses practicality. I'd love to see what a pin of his females would be like that are bred similar to them, because I think they're just so good and efficient in terms of their type and kind. That Herefort's equally my favorite. He'll be your champion homegrown.
Your 2024 homegrown champion, Emily Clem. Congratulations, Emily. Now, hopefully we only have about 3 more minutes before the showmanship starts. We'll stay with our original 10-minute break.
Someone's got some demons.
Yeah, you want
Always good hair food.
This might be the coolest announcement.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if that parent entry thing did it.
No, you got to sign her up.
Yeah. 2 minutes.
Showmanship will begin hopefully in 2 minutes.
Good.
And a reserve.
We got 3 classes to court.
Rookie, junior, intermediate, and senior.
4. It's like you're set. I'm supposed to be over at Ag Olympics in 8:30.
Hey folks, the sign up for Ag Olympics is going on right now. If you're interested in the Ag Olympics, better get signed up.
Rob, you coming in? You're going to do the
It's
showmanship?
over beyond the yellow tent, the Ag Olympics.
I got to go in.
Get over to
I got to
sign
do
up.
Ag Olympics. Yeah. Just make sure the little one's still good.
2 minutes on showmanship.
All these kids.
You got someone else coming in to help you?
Yeah, Rob, little guy Rob.
You guys ready to get started?
Ready?
for our senior showmanship?
You guys ready to get started?
I'll find out.
Okay.
So you now senior showman and then wrap them up.
Okay, we're ready to go on the senior showmen this evening. Emily Clem to the ring, Rosalie Bear, Kylie Neff, Marissa Gabbard, Ellie Shooter, and Danica Neff to the ring.
We'll try to keep the showmanship short and sweet. That way everybody can get on to their next events. And I know the cattle and kids are probably getting hot out here. Again, I said this in the hog show yesterday, but it's a unique perspective to work through the entire show and then come back and do showmanship. And so a lot of my gauge and my read on these kiddos was what I've seen throughout the entire duration. Those kids that are intense when it matters, those kids that aren't just showing themselves off during showmanship, but are making sure that their calf looks as good as possible throughout the entire event, especially when it matters. And so I appreciate all of them. I think if you're a junior and intermediate, you should definitely be watching this group of seniors because they have the basics down pat. Unfortunately, with showmanship, right, it comes down to some personal preference. For me, I think there was one that was just so rock solid in terms of fundamentally getting the job done in a really efficient manner and just so calm and cool in terms of her demeanor. I think her reserve maybe gets a little close, but I will go ahead and put the microphone down and show you my two favorite showmen. Before I do so, though, let's give this group of ladies a big hand for our favorite pattern.
Ladies and gentlemen, your senior showman for 2024 in the senior class, Marissa Gabbard. Reserve champion, Rosalie Bear. Congratulations. Hey, next up in the ring, we have the intermediate group of showmen. We're looking for Austin Gellert, Elizabeth Bear, Kaylee Mingus, Jack Rosenberger, and Carissa Shooter.
competitive as our seniors were, I certainly think intermediates could give them a run for their money. Very good in terms of just walking their cattle naturally in place. Maybe as a controversial topic on Facebook, it's the best to just be able to walk your animal in place, get that shot immediately. And so I appreciate that from all of these kiddos. As we sit back and we talk about the separating factor between what separates the top two versus the rest of the pack, I certainly think our winner has just done an outstanding job. Maybe taking an animal that's not the easiest to deal with and getting the best looks. And I think our person that's going to be second has just been so consistent throughout the entire duration of the show. With that being said, let's give our intermediate showman a big hand, and I'll show you my two things.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Intermediate Showman champion is Kaylee Mingus, and reserve Jack Rosenberger. Congratulations. Next up, we have our Junior Showmen. The Junior Showmen, Paisley Sefton and Jeremy Davis. Paisley Sefton and Jeremy Davis to the ring. We should have Jeremy Davis as well. So we have Paisley Sefton and Jeremy Davis.
Just two in our junior showmanship. They must have scared the rest of the competition away. But I definitely think these two young people have done an outstanding job. I tell you what, this young lady up here is on awful good hand. She showed some ones that maybe weren't going to act the best, but she never gave up. I've never seen her shed a tear. And so I love just her grit and her determination to get the job done. It certainly shows her toughness out here. This young man won the Rated Game Show with old Bubba here, and he's certainly done just an awesome job with this project. I guess for me, it gets awfully close. I think there's one young lady that was probably just a bit better in terms of her eye contact and intensity. The young lady's going to be our champion. We'll follow it up with you to be reserved. So congratulations to both of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Junior Showman Grand Champion, Paisley Sefton. Reserve Grand Champion, Jeremy Davis. Next up, rounding out our evening, is the rookie category of showmen. We have Riker Geller, Anna Rosenberger, Addison Powell, and Elsie Rudolph into the ring.
think all 4 of you have the potential to make a big splash in the other showmanships as you get older when it comes time for fair time next year. So let's give them a big hand, and I'll show you my 2 favorites.
Awesome. Good job, Anna.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Rookie Showman Grand Champion, Elsie Rudolph. Reserve Grand Champion, Anna Rosenberger. Congratulations to all. Hey, how about a big round of applause for our judge this evening, coming all the way from San Antonio, Texas, through Greensburg, Indiana, Kylie Patterson. Thank you, Kylie. Also, let's have a round of applause for all the exhibitors here this evening in the beach show. And lastly, our ring helper, Keith Shipman, and all the group in the back for helping put everything together. We'll see you all for the big sale tomorrow night.